Hey guys, welcome back to my channel AG Motion Designs, and in today's video we are going to create this character animation inside of After Effects without using any third-party plugin but with the help of Adobe After Effects and Adobe Illustrator. So if you like my efforts on this channel, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So first of all, here we are in Adobe Illustrator. I have this Illustrator file over here. I got this file from freepik.com. Link is available in the description, so you do check it out later. Now let's hit Ctrl A to select all of these elements, and now I'm gonna hit Ctrl C to copy them. Then I'll press Ctrl N on my keyboard to create another file. I'll name it as untitled 2 only, and width is 1920, height is 180, and RGB mode I'm going to choose and simply hit create. Then press Ctrl V to paste it, and by holding Alt Shift I'm gonna increase the size of it somewhere around like this. Okay, select this our main character, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place, and let's hide this for now. Now we will focus on these PG elements. Now I don't want any of them because I want to create a simple character animation only. So I'll delete these things. I'll delete this one also. I want this buildings only. So let's select this buildings. I'll press Alt. I'll hold Alt and I'll create a new copy. As you guys can see, we have one background over here, so we'll delete this background, and I'm going to select this portion, right click and ungroup. Let's move them over here, select this, move this over here, select this, and let's move this over here. Okay, now select all of them again, and by holding Alt I'm going to create a duplicate of it, and I'll move them over here. So these are gonna be my buildings, so I'll save this file first of all. Yeah, now this is gonna be my background, so I'll call it as BG only, and let's hide this now we have to focus on our main portion. First of all, select this, right click and make it ungroup, and we will delete this extra element. We will delete this one also, we don't need that. Then we will focus on our object. So now we have head of this over here, so hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place, double click on it and type head like this. Now let's, if you double click on it, as you guys can see, we can go inside of this character. But what we are gonna do, we will simply select this, right click and choose ungroup. Now we will select this eye by holding shift. We have this pupil of this and then this eyeball, so select this by holding shift and hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Then we have this eyebrows, select them, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. We have this hair portion, so hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Then we have this mouth, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Now we have to name these layers, so I'll name them according hair, eyebrows. Okay, so head portion is done, so simply hide them. Now we have to arrange another element. So this is my backpack, so I'll hit Ctrl X, I'll create a new layer, I'll press Ctrl Shift V and I'll call it as bag and hit OK, and I'll bring this downwards and I'll hide this. Then I have this hand and this parcel, so I'll hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. I'll select this, right click and make it ungroup. Then I'm gonna select this this box, hit Ctrl X, sorry, hit Ctrl Z again, right click and again choose ungroup. Then we will select this and now try to Ctrl X and go downwards, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Let's call this layer as box, sorry, and let's hide this, select this and let's call it as hand. Okay, and let's hide this. Now this is gonna be my chest, but before that, if you see this both objects are connected, so simply right click and choose ungroup. then select this one, hit Ctrl X. As you guys can see, this is just a patch over here, so hit Ctrl Z again. We will what we will do, we will change it later. Now we will select this hand portion, so I'm gonna select this hand, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, let's call it as hand. Okay, and let's hide this. Now we have, if you see over here, one finger is at the backwards, so for them what we are gonna do, we will simply right click and choose ungroup first, then we will select this and this line properly and hit Ctrl X. Now select this hand and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place and hide this. Then we will select this, I'll hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and let's call it as finger, like this, and let's hide this for now. Now this is gonna be my bicycle, so I'm gonna first select this handle, I'll hit Ctrl X, I'll create new layer and press Ctrl Shift V and let's call it as handle, hit OK, and let's hide this. Then we have to select this leg, so I'll select this leg first, but if you see all of them are in the form of group, so simply right click and choose ungroup, then select this portion, hit Ctrl X, but these lines are still remaining, so hit Ctrl Z and by holding shift first select these lines, then select this leg, hit Ctrl 0 to make it fit, then by holding shift select this line only and hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and let's call it as leg. Then we have this foot over here, so hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and let's call it as foot and hit OK and let's hide both of them. Then we have this leg, select like this, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, let's call it as foot, hide it. Select this, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, let's call it as foot. Sorry, we should call this layer as leg. Okay, so hide them. Now we have this portion only, so select this, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and let's call it as chest and hit OK and let's hide this. And this is gonna be my wheels, so I'll call it as wheels. Now let's unhide all of them. Now as you guys can see, this looks quite weird, so what we need to do, we need to select this head and then we need to select all of the things which are related to head and we should move them out after this chest like this. Okay, so now all of these things are at appropriate position, so I'll save them. And now we have to animate this stuff, so we need to go to the Adobe After Effects. So let's go to the Adobe After Effects, let's create a new composition, I'll call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, duration is 10 seconds, background color is white color and simply hit OK. Go to choose grid and guide option and hit on title selection. Then press Ctrl I on your keyboard, select your Illustrator file, import as composition, written days and sizes. Uncheck this Illustrator PDF EPS sequence and simply hit import. And then we will bring our composition over here. Now double click to open this. Now as you guys know that we have one BG over here, but we don't need to look at that right now. So let's hide this. Let's lock this first. Hit Ctrl K to open the project settings and background color, which is black by default, let's make it white so we can see this thing properly. Yeah, so now all of these layers are already named. Now we have to, first thing we need to do is parenting. So now this is gonna be my head, so let's focus on head portion first, and head, mouth, hair, eyebrows, etc. and let's click on this icon. And now select this mouth to eyes, each and every one of them, and make it a parent with the head. So with the help of this we will parent it with the head, and press Y to select your pen behind tool. Shortcut key is Y, and we need to move this anchor point over here. So whenever we are going to rotate it, it's gonna rotate it like that. For example, if you hit W to choose your rotating tool, you can rotate it like this. So hit Ctrl Z And now this head should be parent with our chest, so find wherever your chest is and make it parent with this chest like this. So whenever chest gonna move, this is gonna move. Click on this icon of chest, press Y, and let's move this anchor point over here like this. Okay. Now I'm going to select this leg and I'll move this anchor point over here, and in parent and linking I'm again going to choose chest. Also I'm going to select this foot, I'll move this over here, and I'm going to make this parent with this leg. Okay, then select this leg, move this anchor point over here. In parent and link, choose chest, select this foot, move this anchor point over here, make it a parent with this leg. Okay, now I'm going to select this hand, I'll move this anchor point over here. Then I'm going to select this box, I'll make it a parent with this hand. Select this hand, in parent and link, this should be parent with chest. Then we have this one box head backward, this should be also parent with this chest. So basically each and every one should be parent with this chest. So let's select this hand, I'll move this anchor point over here. Then go, we have one what we call finger over here, which is the backward finger. We'll select this and move this, let's make it a parent with this hand. Let's see where it is. So this is, as you guys can see, it's a third layer. So what we are gonna do, we will select this, we will go to this option and we'll choose third layer. Okay, and then we will select this handle and press Y on your keyboard and move this anchor point of this thing over here. So it's gonna be rotated like this. Okay, we don't need to rotate it too much, just a little bit. Okay, so now we all the things are at the proper position. Now we will animate this eyes first because I want to, there is no reason. So let's select this eye and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, hit enter, and let's call it as mask first and hit OK. Now select these eyes, press F4 and let's choose alpha matte. Select this mask, press P for position, let's create one keyframe, zoom in a little bit, go to around 10 seconds, create another keyframe, and let's go to around 1.20 frames, create another keyframe. Now in middle of that, let's zoom in, press V, and let's move this downwards like this. So if I see, I'll get something like this. Now select those keyframes and hit F9. Okay, now select this eyebrows, press P, create one keyframe, go over here, create another keyframe, go over here and create one keyframe. Now in middle of it, let's move this over here, select those keyframes and hit F9 like this. If you think the animation is quite fast, you can simply select those keyframes and by holding Alt you can increase the duration of it. Okay, you can select this mouse, press S, go to the start, create one keyframe, go few frame forwards, create another keyframe, and in middle of somewhere let's just decrease the size to 70. Select those keyframes and hit F9. Now Alt click on this keyframes and type loop out expression on it. Hit Ctrl A to select it, hit Ctrl C to copy it, Alt click, Ctrl V, Alt click, Ctrl V. So we'll get something like this. Okay. Now we will select this here, press Y on your keyboard and let's move this anchor point over here. Press R for rotate, press W for selecting this rotation tool, then press R and let's rotate it like this. Initially create one keyframe, go few frame forward, let's move it over here, create, it will automatically create another keyframe, go few frame forwards, again move this downwards, move this upwards, and at this point hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, first keyframe, select those keyframe and hit F9, Alt click on the stopwatch and type loop out expression. So if I hit play, I'll get this kind of hair animation like this. Okay, so this is also done. Now we have to start the actual animation process. So now first I'm going to select this chest and press R for rotation. I'll create one keyframe and initially I'll rotate it like this. Hit Ctrl Z first. I think this hand is not parent with this chest, so I'll select this and I'll make it a parent with this chest. Okay, so now I'm gonna select this and I'll move this over here. Let's make it rotation on 9 like this. Create one keyframe. Select this leg, press R. Let's rotate it like this. Create one keyframe. Okay, now go to 20 frames. Select this chest. Let's make it -4 like this. Select this and let's rotate it like this. So if I see, I'll get something like this. Now we will select this hand, press R. Let's create one keyframe. Go over here and we need to move it like this. Now select this hand, press P, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and let's move this over here. Now let's select this hand, press R, create one keyframe, go over here and let's rotate it like this. Also go to the start, select this leg, press P, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here, press V and let's move this over here. Okay, now I'm going to select this leg and this foot and let's bring this totally backward. Okay, now after moving this backward, if you see, we will get this kind of stuff. Now let's select this, press W and let's rotate it like this. Press R, create one keyframe, go over here and let's rotate it like this. Now let's select this hand, press R. Initially let's rotate it like this, create one keyframe, go over here, let's move it like this. Now go to the start, we will select this hand and let's rotate it like this, press V and let's move it backwards. Let's adjust the position of it like this. And now we need to adjust the handle of this one, so let's select this handle, press R for rotation, hit W, press R, create one keyframe, then hit W and let's rotate it like this first. Go over here at this point and we need to rotate it like this. Then let's select this hand again, go over here and let's move this a little bit over here. So if I say this thing, I'll get this kind of animation. Now after this, I'm gonna select this leg and let's rotate it completely like this. Select this and let's rotate it like this. It will automatically create one keyframe at their respective points. Then we need to select our chest and we need to rotate it like this. We need to select this hand, we need to rotate it like this and press V, and we have to adjust the position of this one to over here. We need to select this, press W and we need to adjust the position of this one over here. Select this, like this. Okay, then we need to select this and let's rotate it like this. Okay, now we will select this head, press R for rotation. Initially let's rotate it like this, create one keyframe. At this point it should go like this and at this point it should go like this. Okay, then select this leg, let's move this a little bit over here, go few frame forwards, again create one keyframe, or instead of that you can at this point, let's say up to around 3 seconds, you can simply copy the first keyframe of this rotation, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Zoom in a little bit, let's delete this keyframe extra. Let's select this and let's move this a little bit of downwards. At this point it should be little bit of upward. Okay, so now if I see this, I get this kind of animation. Now what we need to do, now we need to select all the keyframes. So hit U and U again, so it will show all the keyframe. Select each and every keyframe, except we don't want to adjust the graph editor for eyes and extra stuff. So whenever you will see the hair, let's move this downwards. Let's select this mouse, move this downwards. We want head, so move this eyebrows down, this masks down. Okay, now we have to deal with this keyframes only. So let's select all the keyframes and hit F9. Now we will go to the graph editor. We will select this graph. Let's zoom in. Let's select this, and by holding shift move this handle over here, and now select this. By holding shift we'll move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over, select this and move this handle like this. So if I hit play, I'll get something like this. Now if you see over here, we will get a little bit of hand movement after the main action. So we want that movement for another what we call elements also. So now for to get those extra animations, what we need to do, at this point I'm gonna select this hand, hit W, I'll rotate it like this. Let's go over here, and at this point zoom in a little bit. I'll hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, first keyframe. Also let's select this chest. I'm gonna create one keyframe over here, go to the last keyframe which is over here, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, the first keyframe, like this. Or instead of that you can simply delete this keyframe. I want after this that should regain its original position. Then at this point select this hand, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V of the first keyframe. Also select this leg, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, first keyframe, like this. Let's select this, let's move this downwards like this. Okay, also select this head, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, the first keyframe, and now go to the 3, and now if you hit N you will get something like this. But if you see, you will get a little bit of glitch over here because we have not copy the position keyframe of it. Hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V for the position keyframe also, like this. Now we have to adjust this position also. So let's go over here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, this keyframe also. So if I see, I'll get this thing in the form of loop. So press F4 and select all of them and enable this motion blur, like this. Now let's go to the main animation. Now I know at 3 seconds it's gonna be in the form of loop, so double click to open this, and at 3 I'm gonna hit N, right click and trim comp to work area, like this. Go to the main animation. Now right click, go to the time and time enable remapping. Now we have one keyframe over here, so hit page up button to move one keyframe backward and create another keyframe. And now delete this keyframe, zoom out, and now alt click on the stopwatch and type loop out expression on it. So now after that we will get this kind of continuous animation. Okay, like this. Now 6 gonna be my final point, so I'll hit N at that point, like this. So I'm gonna select this thing over here, press P for position. Let's move this thing over here like this, or let's move this thing over here first. Create one keyframe, double click to open this, hit U. I know at this point this is gonna touch this, this is gonna lift this leg. So let's go over here, and at this point I want this should go backwards. Select those keyframes and hit F9. Zoom in a little bit, somewhere around over here, and at this point this should go forward. So I'll move this over here. Now select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, holding shift, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here and this handle over here. Okay, select those keyframe, right click, go to the keyframe interpolation. Instead of auto bezier, choose linear and hit OK, like this. Now at 3 seconds I'll hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V the first keyframe. Okay, and now I'll click on the stopwatch and type loop out expression on it. So we will get this keyframe all along our animation. Now let's go to the 6th frame and let's move this over here like this. Let's move this a little bit over here, go inside this. Okay, and now let's go inside this. As you guys know that we have one BG over here, so I'll select this BG, I'll hit Ctrl X, I'll go to the main animation and I'll hit Ctrl V and I'll bring this over here. Now let's select this BG, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and we will hide this first one. Then select this BG, press P for position. Let's create one keyframe, go to last keyframe, I mean somewhere around over here, hit N. Over here, let's see this animation first. Okay, now select both the BGs and let's increase the size of it. Let's go somewhere around over here, select this BG and press V, and let's move this out of this composition. And now I'm going to enable this BG and then I'm going to make it parent with this BG. So now if I see this animation, I'll get something like this. Okay, and then let's create one line over here and don't want fill, and I'm going to choose black color and let's make this 10 pixels or let's say 5 pixels. Select this lines, press Ctrl Alt Home, and let's move this, let's move this line over here. Let's select this and choose 2 pixels. Okay, and press Ctrl Y on your keyboard to create not black but create a white background and hit OK, and let's bring this downwards. So now with the help of this kind of keyframe techniques, you can create this kind of character animation which is in the form of loop. So that's it for the today's video. We will see you in my next video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like this tutorial then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. And if you want to create some more interesting animations like this, then check out these 2 videos. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay tuned.